it keeps getting stuck mainly around the dining room table. Now, it's not like physically can't move. It's saying that the wheels are blocked or something, but it's kind of struggling with this carpet. And this carpet is not super, it's newer carpet, but it's not like super tall, but it really struggles. I've already had to add like 8 no-go zones that I normally don't. Hello everyone, this is just an ad. Today we're going to do the 3-month real world test and show you how to do all the maintenance on the Narwhal Flow. Now I did buy this robot vacuum cleaner with my own money. This is going to be my honest opinion. So during this video, I'm going to talk about it. We're going to show you how to do all the maintenance. It's got quite a few hours on it. Then we're actually going to give it a score at the end of this is going to be my final score. I've had it over 3 months, but I took it to my house and we'll see exactly how the hassle, hair pet, corner testing, all of that went. And then we'll give it a badge. Is it going to earn the Just a Dad approval sticker, wait for a deal, or buy it now? Or there's a third one that I don't have developed yet, which is skip it. And if you wait around till the very end, I'll show you how this robot actually did at my house. I've got videos of it vacuuming and cleaning at my house. Now, I do purchase these robot vacuum cleaners with my own money, but I do use links. If you want to find all the robots that I highly recommend, check out my website, justadadapproved.com. If you purchase a product off my website or in this video, I am an Amazon affiliate. The products don't cost you anymore, but I do earn a small commission from the sale. Now, thankfully, it did come with, when I bought the Narwhal Flow, it first came out, it came with this kit, which looks really expensive, but that's what I'll be using. Brush roller, this side brushes, filter, dust bag, this little filter here. Now, I've had lots of videos on this robot. They did update the software on this. So this thing was originally I used it for a while. When it first came out, it was not a very good robot in my opinion. It got stuck on black carpet. I had a piece of carpet it would constantly get stuck on. I think the black carpet has been fixed because it's not getting stuck anymore. But there's another issue that kind of came when I brought it to my house. The wheels, this robot's just not able to handle standard carpet. It keeps getting stuck, which we're going to see that here in the history record. So that's going to be the major drawback of this robot. While it is a really good mopping robot, it cannot vacuum carpet very well. So here's the cleaning, all records. It's got 63 tasks, 75 hours, 23,000 square feet. And as you'll see, when it was at my house, it kept failing. It kept just getting stuck, and not necessarily just stuck. Sometimes it would get stuck under furniture, but most of the times it was stuck in the middle of the floor. And I would have to go pick it up, and it just ended up not being a very good, this ended up not being a very good robot at all. So I had tons of issues with it, tons of hassle. While it performed better in here in the studio, I felt confident enough to take it to my home, but after a week at my home, I actually felt like I wanted to throw it out the window. So the hassle factor on this thing is super high. I don't like it. So let's get to doing the maintenance. We're going to turn it off.
Task ended.
If you had mostly hardwood floors, it would probably be an okay robot. So let's take a look at the dustbin. There's a clog. See, well, maybe no, it's not a clog. It auto empties at the end, but it auto empties at the beginning of the next. This is such a weird robot. It auto empties at the beginning of the next task. Okay, so here we've got. Pinch that tab. Let's take this out. This thing did pick up like a screw, so that kind of ate into that a little bit. We could wash this, but I am going to put a new one on. We're going to put these on. Okay, let's grab these. These can be kind of tricky. Here's what the new one looks like. So they just pull up. So it might work better with a small screwdriver. Yeah, they should, oh, those are way too hard to get off. Okay, you got to really pry. I don't like that at all. And this one's even harder. I mean, I've never seen them that hard to get off. Now they are aligned line them up. They'll only go on one way. I've got it backwards. Make sure you snap it on. These aren't too bad a shape. I probably could have kept them on there, but I just want to show you how to replace them. Now we do have a carpet sensor here. We've got these cliff sensors here. We want to wipe these off, these little glass windows, so it doesn't fall down your stairs. We're going to wipe this out with a rag. Now there's a little bit of work here. Press this button. You're going to rotate the mop roller up. Let me get a better angle of this. Press both. There's two buttons here and here. Rotate this and then lift this left side up and then pull it out. That's a pin that goes right there. And then now this just slides off. Now the mop roller is not in too terrible shape. Probably could have left it on there. Now there is this little, I've had this off a couple times. This is a scraper. You just push it that way. I've cleaned it once or twice already. So that's all the access you have here. There's nothing else. They don't really tell us there is something. Yeah, no, that's it. There's this button here that opens up this port over here, but they don't tell us what that's for. I don't know what it does actually. So those are where the water comes out. This is the scraper. I'll take this to the sink. This actually stayed relatively clean. It's got some bearings on. I'm not sure I want to get it. Maybe take it over to the sink and wash it, but it's in pretty good shape. Now this dustbin, I have had this off because here's what happens. There's a filter here that kind of is before this. This filter doesn't get super dirty. I mean, it is dirty, you can see. It's got some fine dirt in there, but what I have found is this needs, and these, I don't know, I know they give you extra ones of these. It seems like it's just so reusable. It's washable, but this side of I've had to clean this little, this is kind of a choke point. Stuff's going to go right up against here, so I have cleaned that a couple times, but they do give you, I mean, they want you to replace this whole thing after a while, but I think you can keep using it. Other than that, the dustbin stays. You can wash this whole thing. There is a little trap door here. Yeah, we'll wash that too. Okay, clean water tanks, dirty water tanks. I'll show you a little cleaning hack for the dirty water tank, but it's actually in pretty good shape. You get a lot of dirt up around here. Clean water tank has a filter at the end of this hose. There's a little piece of foam in there. Sometimes you have to take that out, but mine's in pretty good shape. And nothing else is up here, so. Dust bag. Let's hold this. Now, there's one thing they don't talk to you much about is right here is like you could put a detergent, but they don't say much about it. They don't give you detergent. They don't. If they sell it, it must be like an add-on that you've got to add later. I don't know. Here's the dust bag. Pull this. It comes out. It's relatively full. It just didn't stay at my house very long. I don't think there's another place for detergent. Here's the Narwhal bag. I think it's the same as the Freo Z in all of them, but these bags are very well made. Slide it in, and then it just kind of sits there like that. Make sure that's down. Put the feet in first and close it. I've had this tray out multiple times because this thing gets really dirty. I've had this out. This gets extremely dirty. They want you to replace this, but it's a piece of plastic that I think you could just keep using it. I mean, I don't see why it would get damaged or anything, but I've cleaned it several times, so I'm going to clean it today, but they give you a new one. Okay, so how did the Narwhal Flow actually do at my house? Let's cut the dust bag open to see how it vacuumed while Looks like the dust bag has quite a bit of stuff in it. It just kept getting stuck on carpet. That was the major downfall. Okay, so there, wow. A lot of testing debris in there from when I was testing it, but when I took it to my home, that's from right about there. So it is able to pick up dog hair. I just got way too frustrated with it to keep it at my home. So let's put all that in there. Okay, I'll show you a little cleaning trick with the dirty water tanks. These things get super dirty. I love spraying scrubbing bubbles. My world famous Just a Dad cleaning brush from Walmart. It's like $5. You can find all the parts that I'm using here and all the tools on my website, justadadapproved.com. This brush can get into all those crevices and stuff. So wash this out at least once a month, but then at the end, we're gonna put an Effervescent tablet in. Now, I don't always wash them out, but you can. But I do dump them out. This is the dirty water tank. I dump it out, rinse it out, and then I always throw an Effervescent tablet in there. Now, as the dirty water builds up, that will kill the bacteria. Make sure the seal's in good shape. There's how you clean the dirty water tank. Okay, I've got all the parts over here. Let's clean this. This is the funnest to clean. Now, this takes a while to dry. And these are really thin. So I would probably clean this once or twice, and then you should clean this and this every couple weeks, because they're just gonna get filled up with dust. And I like to spray, I use Dawn dish soap. I spray everything, get it all nice and soaking. And then this same brush just works really good for all this. Yeah, that thing cleans up great. The brush, you can clean the brush also. They get really dirty. You'll be surprised how much water. But they also take a while to dry. So you want to make sure and let it dry. The easiest thing is let it dry in the sun or over a register. This door is extremely dirty. Right here too. That's a lot of caked on. I'm gonna have to really scrape. That brush isn't cutting that right there. There's that scraper. I've cleaned this a couple times already, so. Here's the big tray. It does clean up pretty easy. But again, you should probably do this once a month, where I typically like to go a little longer. And here is the actual dustbin. Get in there, check out that trap door where it auto empties right there. Make sure that's all nice and clean. And again, this will take a while to dry too. Okay, so if you're in a hurry like me, this blower, I've got a link to this on my website under maintenance and tips. You can dry that off and blow it off. It really does get into all the... It can take a little bit, but this is a little bit of a cleaning trick, especially with this brush. All right, I've got a damp cloth. It's not too bad down here, but you should wipe, especially around that area right there. Not too bad. Now we're also going to wipe this off right here. You don't want to get any water inside the robot, and there's a really thin membrane. It's got some gunk on it, so we want to be just really, really careful of this really thin membrane. If you break that seal, it ruins the robot. And not too bad in here. Now the dirty water tank, you're not able to access it. Give it a final clean. I like to bump this down one. Don't blow air right into that sensor right there. Just kind of lightly. Now, I was at CES and they did have a video of the internal dirty water tank. It was pretty cool, but you cannot access it. So line this up and it just friction fits in there. Here's what this is the old one. This is the new one. It is more fluffier. This one does get pretty matted down. Okay, so grab the new one. There's like some gears on the inside there. You're just gonna see, it doesn't matter which way. Just slide it on, kind of line it up here. Now find the side with the square peg. That's gonna go into that square peg right there. Kind of go in at an angle. It's a little tricky. You may have to turn it. There. It was a little tricky getting that in. Now, there's another pin here. You got to push down in. Now you can rotate the whole thing. And the new pad is got like extra material, it feels like. It went in, but it just feels like it's bigger. All right, we're gonna put the new roller in. I needed to clean that a little. It sucks up a lot of dirty water, or a lot of dirt. That's the old one. There's some arrows. Yeah, find the arrows. Put the arrows in first. Like an angle, you may have to rotate it, then rotate it down. Now this, I had to blow this out. This got pretty wet. And there's also this little door that comes down when it's vacuuming. So that I had to kind of blow some air in there. Oops. Be careful, it's got like a little seal. It's spring loaded, so okay. Put the 2 feet in first over here. Trying to think, yeah. Oh yeah. Put this side in first and rotate it down until it clicks. Lift up on it. All right, we're good to go on the bottom. Oh yeah, wipe down the front sensors. It's, you know, its main problem, it didn't get too beat up, is its wheels. It just randomly gets stuck on normal size carpet. My carpet is not super tall, but it is brand new carpet. So take this again. This took a while to dry out. There's a lot of little crevices in there. Oh yeah, the filter. I just got a new filter. The seal is going to go on the outside like that. Then set it in, make sure it clicks into place. And let's rotate this in, put the ears in and down. Here's that little filter here. It just snaps on, make sure this is all, put those little feet in first, nice and flush. Should just be nice and flush right here. Doesn't look like it sucked up too much dirty water, or yeah, no water being sucked up. It does tend to get into trouble. There's quite a few scrapes on the top of it getting jammed in furniture. Quite a few actually. So while it is thin, it likes to jam itself into, you know, if there's kind of like any kind of an angle. The LiDAR looks in pretty good shape. Okay, let's reset the maintenance reminders. You can see this was my house and I had to keep adding no-go zones. Like this one was that was a really thick carpet, but my other robots do that carpet just fine. They struggle on it, but they never get stuck. That was a really thin carpet. No robots can handle really thin carpets, but this is just a random spot in the middle of my dining room table. This is in the bedroom. I just had to keep adding these because when it gets stuck, it says, hey, would you like to add a no-go zone here for future? I thought, well, I'll do that. Maybe it's just a certain area it's getting stuck, but I just had to keep adding them over and over. So let's reset the maintenance reminders, manage accessories. Dust bag had 55 hours on it, but I just went ahead and replaced it. You could probably get a couple months out of it. That insert, says I got more time on it, but it was in good shape. Dustbin filter. Again, you should be cleaning that and the other thing every couple weeks. It doesn't talk about that. Crawler mop, they call it. Says it has 124 hours left, but I changed mine. The mop. Yeah, it just talks about that. That's that replaceable filter. Reset the timer. Zero brush, so you got to change. I changed out. It has a bunch more time, but I picked up a screw. Anti-tangle brushes. They had a bunch more time on them, but I did replace them. The sensors were definitely cleaned. Casters, and there's that sponge. Okay, it's time to give it its score. So the hassle-free, it is got so much hassle with it, I could not give it a very good score here. So 2 out of 5. Hair and pet test probably is where it does shine the most. I do like that brush roller. Corner sweep, it has the mop roller doesn't get as close to the edge as I would like. And also no side brush goes into the corner. Vacuum and mopping, that also got a 4 out of 5. The clutter test, it was getting into trouble quite a bit. And the clutter test, while it does avoid things, it kind of gets into trouble. And then I also consider this hassle and the kind of navigation pretty bad. So overall, just 3. This is going to be a skip it for me. The main thing is this, it can't, it gets randomly stuck on carpet all the time. Originally, it would just fail on black carpet, no side brush reach. I did reach out to Narwhal customer support when I first bought this, and I was 2 weeks past the 30-day return window, and I was wanting them to, replace it or look at it for repair or something, and they pretty much said they weren't going to look at it for repair or nothing. So I pretty much had to sit with it for about a couple months before that software finally got updated for black carpet. So it did not get a bite now. It did not get a wait for a deal. It got a skip it. Now, I do think a game changer is going to be this Roborock Curve 2 Flow. I'm getting ready to take it to my house. The Mova P10 Pro from last year, it's got a buy it now on it. The Dream Aqua 10 Ultra, it got a skip it. So I got the video, the 3-month real world test on that. Over here, we got the Z60, we got the Matrix 10, and the Mobius got a wait for a deal. They're kind of expensive. So again, stick around. I'll show you how this thing actually vacuumed at my house. I've never seen a vacuum act this, maybe some of the earlier ones, but nothing I've been testing in the last year has acted this bad at my house. So again, I do appreciate everybody's support. JustADadApproved.com is the best place. That website's going to be changing quite a bit for you. It's going to get more information. These scorecards are going to be there. It's going to be just a quick, easy go-to place. My reviews are going to show up there, the data sheets, the score, whatever score I give it. Easy go-to place. And then it's going to have my top picks there with links to Amazon. And then during these major sales events, when these products go on big sales, I'm also going to send out an email when we get random sales during the year. Sometimes robots that I love go on sale at just random times. So make sure you go to my website, JustADadApproved.com, sign up for my email list. And I also have a new series coming out, Advertising versus Reality. I did it with the Flow. It did okay, but that was just a mopping event. I did it with the Aqua 10, Mobius 60. I'm getting up to about 7 now where I'm checking their advertising, ad versus reality. So that's a pretty fun video to make. And there's been some surprises too. The Roborock Curve 2 Flow was a pretty big shocking event. So again, thanks everybody. Watch, I'm going to show you it at my house. So I've had the Narwhal Flow at my house for about 5 days. It keeps getting stuck mainly around the dining room table. Now, it's not like physically can't move. It's saying that the wheels are blocked or something, but it's kind of struggling with this carpet. And this carpet is not super, it's newer carpet, but it's not like super tall, but it really struggles. I've already had to add like 8 no-go zones that I normally don't have to add. And it says the robot stuck during the cleaning task, and it wants me to add a no-go zone. Well, I have to keep adding them because it's kind of randomly getting stuck everywhere on this carpet. And then it just says issue not resolved. Yeah, I keep getting this wheel error code. I'll show you. I got it on this last cleaning. I got it right here. And see, I already put a no-go zone because I got it the other day like over here. But now I got it there. Oh, and I got it there. Yeah, on these cleanings, I keep getting these red dots like the robot will just stop. Let's go to, yeah, you can see on this one, there's all the red dots I got. That's just randomly in the middle of the room. That's kind of close to a couch I have, but other robots can manage. This is definitely just in the middle of the room, and this was just in the middle of the room back here, so I'm not sure what's going on. So I think it does a pretty good job on hardwood floor. Oh, and I noticed that. So whenever I'm watching it, sometimes it kind of like ramps up, like it does that going over a threshold on this carpet. Yeah, see how it's having a hard time. I mean, this carpet, it should not be having that hard of a time lifting up. Now, one thing I do notice is the mop roller, it cannot lift it super high. So I feel like it kind of drags on the carpet a lot. There is no cover for it. Now, here's where it got stuck earlier today. And I think it has something to do with like it gets into a situation and backing out can be hard or something. Because it's not stuck on anything. It just kind of gets in an area where there's multiple obstacles and then it just will stop. But sometimes it stops out here in the middle of the floor. And you'll see it, that ramp up. Yeah, it's when it turns. It's struggling on this carpet for some reason. And my other robots don't. I've never had a robot like randomly get stuck on this type of carpet.
Task paused.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, like, sometimes I've found that I feel like sometimes these are kind of interfering with the feed because it stows these, and I've lifted it over a couple times and they're like right there, so maybe that's interfering with the wheels. I don't necessarily, I know there's this thing comes down to create a suction chamber on it. That definitely drags on the carpet because you can see like the wheels are up, but they go,
Task resumed.
So this is definitely not going to be a recommend for me just because it cannot handle this type of carpet. And I think this is pretty standard carpet. So over here, let's take a look at the dirty water. Yeah, the water's been pretty dirty. It's doing a good job, but I'll tell you what, and I don't like when it does that, but the surprise has been this P10 Pro Gen 2. Now, that's my 2025 pick of the year, but there's something about this Gen 2, it presses the mop pads down with more force. And I was actually shocked how I just emptied this yesterday, and I was not thinking much of it. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go empty it. It's not a big deal. But there was a lot of dirt in there. It was more dirty water. Like the water was dirtier than from this one. And actually definitely from the Gen 2, the Dreamy. I don't think this has the downward pressure. Water's pretty dirty, but there was something going on with this Gen 2 where the water was really dirty. Like it actually did a really good job of cleaning. And here's the original. Here's the original one. It's got, its water is sort of dirty. You can tell, see, there's that. It's not, like I wish I had this one had this much in it. But the water's just dirtier, like, see? It's hard to explain, but that water just has more dirt in it. Yeah, wow. So the Narwhal Flow will be coming back to the studio. I'm not going to keep it here a whole bunch because I've got too much frustration. The hassle factor is going to be very low or very high on this. So it will not get my Just a Dad sticker seal of approval, but I will be comparing it to the new Roborock Curve 2 and some of the other mop rollers. Now I will get the Flow 2 when it comes out. Hopefully it'll be better.